Most people believe debt automatically destroys every chance of building meaningful future wealth. Financial pressure quietly convinces hardworking individuals that investing should always wait indefinitely afterward. Yet countless financially independent people started investing long before eliminating every frustrating balance completely. Imagine watching opportunities disappear while inflation steadily weakens your untouched savings account every year. That painful realization forces many overwhelmed people reconsider traditional advice surrounding personal financial stability. Society repeatedly teaches struggling individuals to fear investing whenever debt remains partially unpaid anywhere. But fear alone rarely creates freedom, confidence, long-term security, or lasting financial independence afterward. Consider a young employee juggling student loans, rent payments, and unpredictable monthly grocery expenses. Every paycheck disappears quickly, leaving little emotional energy for ambitious long-term investment planning afterward. Eventually, exhaustion replaces motivation, creating dangerous financial habits difficult escaping later without intentional discipline. Many people secretly believe wealthy investors started with perfect timing and unlimited financial advantages already. Reality often reveals ordinary individuals building wealth slowly through uncomfortable sacrifices and strategic consistency. Instead, the difference usually involves mindset, discipline, patience, and understanding how money behaves over decades consistently. Debt creates emotional stress because unpaid balances symbolize delayed freedom and lingering financial responsibility constantly. Investing feels uncertain because future outcomes remain invisible while present obligations demand immediate attention daily. Combining both responsibilities appears impossible when emotions overpower logical financial decision-making during stressful situations frequently. However, successful wealth building rarely begins during comfortable circumstances or financially perfect moments for anyone. Waiting endlessly for perfect conditions often delays opportunities capable of transforming future financial security permanently. Imagine planting trees only after summer temperatures become completely comfortable and pleasantly predictable every season. Growth requires action before certainty fully arrives, especially regarding money and long-term investment strategies today. Financially successful individuals understand balancing priorities matters more than pursuing unrealistic financial perfection constantly afterward. They recognize high-interest debt demands urgency while investing still deserves consistent long-term attention simultaneously afterward. This balanced perspective challenged traditional financial advice repeated endlessly across social media and television programs. Many influencers promote extreme solutions because dramatic advice attracts attention faster than nuanced strategies online. Unfortunately, extreme financial approaches frequently ignore emotional burnout and realistic everyday human behavior patterns afterward. Someone aggressively eliminating debt might abandon motivation entirely after experiencing prolonged financial deprivation repeatedly afterward. Another person investing everything recklessly could accumulate dangerous interest charges, destroying future financial progress unexpectedly afterward. Sustainable strategies matter because financial success depends heavily upon consistency maintained across many difficult years. Wealth rarely appears through single dramatic decisions, producing immediate, life-changing outcomes overnight for struggling individuals. Instead, wealth usually develops quietly through repeated disciplined action performed regardless of emotional circumstances daily. Understanding this principle changes how people approach both investing and debt repayment responsibilities moving forward. The real question becomes balancing present obligations without sacrificing future financial opportunities unnecessarily for decades. Many viewers probably recognize themselves somewhere within this frustrating financial tension already developing quietly inside. They earn money consistently, yet still feel trapped between competing financial priorities every exhausting month afterward. Bills demand immediate attention, while dreams of financial independence continue feeling painfully distant from reality. That emotional conflict creates paralysis, preventing intelligent action and encouraging avoidance instead of meaningful financial progress. Avoidance feels temporarily comforting because ignoring numbers delays uncomfortable conversations surrounding money management briefly afterward. Yet financial avoidance quietly strengthens problems already growing beneath it. Sarah stared silently at overflowing bills covering sharing her tiny apartment kitchen table late at night. Minimum payments consumed most of her income, leaving little confidence about her financial future. Meanwhile, social media constantly displayed young investors celebrating portfolios growing rapidly through disciplined monthly contributions. Watching others succeed financially intensified Sarah's frustration, insecurity, and feelings of personal financial inadequacy. Eventually, she considered abandoning every dream involving investing until she had completely eliminated her debts first. That decision initially felt responsible, logical, and emotionally comforting during her financial uncertainty. However, several years later, her perspective changed after one unexpected conversation. An older coworker explained that investing earlier helped him survive difficult financial emergencies. He admitted he carried manageable debt while consistently investing small amounts through economic downturns. Sarah was shocked because conventional advice had always warned against investing before becoming entirely debt-free. Curious, she began researching how financially successful people actually balance competing priorities. Surprisingly, most wealthy individuals focused on managing debt rather than eliminating everything immediately. They prioritized controlling high-interest obligations while continuing consistent long-term investments when possible. This balanced strategy let money grow while reducing destructive interest accumulation over time. Sarah realized financial success rarely depended on perfect conditions or impossible circumstances. Instead, success depended on making intentional decisions consistently, despite uncertainty and setbacks. She examined her financial situation honestly instead of hiding anxieties behind hopeful assumptions. Her credit card interest rates exceeded 20%, aggressively damaging monthly progress. Meanwhile, her student loans carried lower rates and manageable long-term repayment structures. Understanding these differences changed how she viewed her responsibilities moving forward. Instead of attacking every balance equally, she prioritized debts causing the greatest long-term damage first. This approach created psychological clarity because each payment served a clear, intentional purpose. Sarah also opened a modest investment account and contributed small amounts every month. Initially, those investments seemed insignificant compared with overwhelming balances demanding payments. Yet something unexpected happened emotionally. Once she built investments alongside reducing obligations, she felt control returning because progress appeared visible across multiple financial areas simultaneously. Before then, debt repayment had felt endless, repetitive, emotionally exhausting, and discouraging. Investing introduced hope because future financial opportunities finally seemed achievable rather than inaccessible. Many people underestimate hope's importance for financial discipline and long-term consistency. Without hope, individuals frequently abandon intelligent strategies when temporary setbacks create disappointment. Financial success requires emotional endurance because meaningful wealth building rarely delivers immediate rewards. Small investments often appear unimpressive early on, despite carrying enormous future growth potential. Compound growth behaves like seeds planted beneath soil before eventually producing massive results. Most people quit because invisible progress feels emotionally unsatisfying during challenging periods, demanding patience. Most people assume every form of debt automatically destroys financial freedom and future opportunities permanently. That belief sounds reasonable initially, yet reality often reveals far more complicated financial truths afterward. Surprisingly, some wealthy individuals intentionally use debt strategically while continuously increasing investment portfolios simultaneously afterward. This revelation confuses many hardworking people taught avoiding debt entirely guarantees financial success automatically afterward. Always, the deeper truth involves understanding whether debt creates future value or quietly destroys financial stability continuously. Productive debt usually supports assets capable of generating income, growth, or meaningful long-term opportunities afterward, financially speaking. Destructive debt typically funds temporary pleasures while accumulating expensive interest and financial stress afterward. Consistently thereafter, consider someone borrowing money, starting a profitable business, producing reliable income over several years afterward consistently. Compare that situation against financing unnecessary luxury purchases, rapidly losing value immediately after buying afterward financially. Both involve debt, technically, yet their long-term financial consequences remain dramatically different from each other afterward. Unfortunately, most people never learn distinguishing between strategic debt and financially dangerous borrowing habits properly afterward. Instead, they receive simplified advice ignoring personal circumstances, financial goals, and realistic economic conditions completely afterward. This misunderstanding traps countless individuals inside endless financial fear, preventing intelligent long-term decision-making afterward. Emotionally speaking, fear encourages avoidance because uncertainty surrounding money naturally creates emotional discomfort and hesitation afterward, consistently thereafter. Yet, avoiding every financial risk entirely often prevents opportunities capable of transforming future financial security permanently afterward. Successful investors understand calculated risks differ significantly from reckless financial decisions driven by emotional impulses afterward. Consistently, they evaluate whether borrowed money creates potential future returns exceeding associated interest costs afterward. Strategically speaking, this perspective completely changes how financially disciplined individuals approach debt repayment and investing simultaneously afterward. Altogether, imagine carrying manageable student loans while building retirement investments growing steadily through compound interest afterward, simultaneously eliminating every investment contribution. Attempting aggressive loan repayment might delay long-term wealth accumulation unnecessarily afterward significantly. Meanwhile, ignoring extremely high interest credit card balances while investing aggressively creates dangerous financial consequences afterward inevitably. Understanding this balance requires examining numbers honestly, instead relying solely upon emotional financial reactions afterward consistently. High-interest debt compounds aggressively against borrowers, quietly reducing future financial flexibility. Every passing month afterward continually, investment growth compounds positively over time, rewarding consistency, patience, and disciplined long-term financial behavior afterward gradually. The real challenge involves deciding which financial force deserves immediate priority within specific personal circumstances afterward strategically. Many financially successful individuals follow something called the interest rate comparison principle when making decisions afterward consistently. They compare expected investment returns against debt interest rates before choosing financial priorities strategically afterward intelligently. For example, eliminating debt charging 25% interest usually produces guaranteed financial benefits afterward. Immediately thereafter, few investments consistently outperform such expensive interest obligations without significant risk or uncertainty involved afterward financially. However, lower interest debts sometimes allow room maintaining modest investments while continuing structured repayment plans afterward simultaneously. This strategy prevents missing valuable years, benefiting from long-term compound investment growth afterward. Financially speaking, altogether, most beginners overlook time's importance regarding investing because immediate results appear frustratingly small initially, afterward consistently. Yet time represents one investment advantage impossible recovering completely once permanently lost afterward. Financially speaking, altogether, someone investing modest amounts early often surpasses later investors contributing significant. Imagine waking peacefully knowing your money finally follows organized systems, instead chaotic emotional decisions afterward. That level of financial control rarely appears suddenly through luck or massive unexpected income afterward alone. Instead, organized systems quietly transform financial chaos into steady long-term progress over several disciplined years afterward. Most financially successful individuals rely heavily upon routines, simplifying important decisions surrounding money management afterward consistently. They understand willpower alone eventually weakens whenever stress, distractions, or emotional exhaustion increases afterward. Unexpectedly thereafter, systems matter because consistency creates financial results long before motivation permanently disappears afterward. Emotionally speaking, altogether, the first powerful system involves creating separate financial categories, assigning every dollar intentional responsibilities afterward strategically thereafter. Many struggling individuals unknowingly spend without direction, causing money disappearing mysteriously every month afterward. Repeatedly thereafter, this habit creates confusion because financial goals remain unclear, while unnecessary expenses quietly continue growing afterward consistently thereafter. Organized budgeting eliminates confusion by showing exactly where income travels throughout each month afterward. Completely thereafter, budgeting sounds restrictive initially, yet effective budgeting actually creates greater financial freedom afterward, emotionally speaking altogether. Knowing spending limits beforehand prevents guilt, anxiety, and impulsive financial decisions damaging future goals afterward repeatedly thereafter. Another powerful system involves building small emergency savings before aggressively increasing investment contributions afterward. Significantly thereafter, unexpected emergencies frequently destroy financial progress whenever individuals lack accessible emergency resources afterward. Financially speaking, altogether, a broken vehicle, medical expense, or sudden unemployment can restart overwhelming debt cycles afterward. Immediately thereafter, emergency savings provide protection because unexpected problems stop becoming devastating financial disasters afterward. Emotionally, thereafter, consistently. Many experts recommend starting small rather than feeling intimidated by unrealistic savings expectations afterward. Initially thereafter, even modest emergency funds create psychological stability, supporting smarter long-term financial decision-making afterward. Consistently thereafter. Once basic savings exist, attention shifts toward balancing investments alongside targeted debt repayment afterward. Strategically thereafter, successful individuals usually prioritize high-interest debts aggressively because those balances grow dangerously afterward. Mathematically thereafter, continuously. Every delayed payment allows expensive interest charges, consuming future financial opportunities silently afterward. Consistently thereafter, eliminating these balances quickly often delivers guaranteed financial benefits impossible ignoring afterward. Strategically thereafter, altogether. Meanwhile, lower interest obligations sometimes allow continued investing without creating serious financial instability afterward. Simultaneously thereafter, this balanced approach protects future compound growth while reducing financially destructive debt pressures afterward. Gradually thereafter, many beginners mistakenly believe investing requires large amounts before meaningful growth becomes possible afterward. Financially speaking, altogether, reality proves consistent smaller investments frequently outperform irregular larger contributions over time afterward. Significantly thereafter, consistency matters because regular investing benefits from market fluctuations, instead fearing temporary uncertainty afterward. Strategically thereafter, this strategy, commonly called dollar cost averaging, reduces emotional reactions surrounding unpredictable market movements afterward. Consistently thereafter, instead of guessing perfect timing, investors contribute regularly regardless short-term market conditions afterward. Strategically thereafter, continually. Over decades, this disciplined behavior often produces remarkable financial growth despite temporary economic downturns afterward. Repeatedly thereafter, another overlooked system involves increasing investments gradually whenever income rises through promotions afterward. Professionally thereafter, consistently. Many people expand lifestyles immediately after earning more money, delaying long-term financial improvement afterward. Unnecessarily thereafter, lifestyle inflation quietly prevents wealth accumulation because higher earnings disappear alongside increasing monthly expenses afterward. Financial freedom begins internally long before appearing visibly through bank accounts or investment portfolios afterward. Consistently, most people search endlessly for secret strategies while ignoring destructive financial habits, controlling decisions afterward. Emotionally thereafter, wealthy individuals often think differently about money, risk, patience, and long-term opportunities afterward. Fundamentally thereafter, altogether, they understand financial independence requires emotional discipline stronger than temporary impulses or fears afterward. Consistently thereafter, someone earning modest income with disciplined habits frequently outperforms reckless high earners financially afterward. Eventually thereafter, income alone rarely guarantees wealth because behavior determines whether money disappears or multiplies afterward. Consistently thereafter, this realization changes everything because financial success suddenly feels achievable for ordinary individuals. Afterward, emotionally thereafter, you no longer require perfect timing, extraordinary intelligence, or massive starting investments afterward, financially speaking altogether. Instead, consistent decisions gradually reshape your future regardless current financial circumstances afterward, strategically, thereafter continuously. Many viewers probably feel overwhelmed balancing debt payments alongside dreams involving investing afterward emotionally, thereafter repeatedly. That feeling remains completely understandable because financial pressure influences confidence, motivation, and mental clarity afterward consistently thereafter, yet avoiding action entirely guarantees remaining trapped inside identical financial struggles afterward, permanently thereafter. Emotionally speaking, progress begins whenever individuals stop waiting for perfect circumstances before making meaningful financial decisions. Afterward, consistently thereafter, perfect conditions rarely arrive because life continuously introduces unexpected challenges, expenses, and uncertainties. Afterward, financially thereafter, successful people act despite uncertainty because movement creates opportunities impossible discovering through hesitation. Afterward, strategically thereafter, consistently. Imagine standing beside enormous ocean waves, waiting patiently until water becomes perfectly calm. Afterward, permanently thereafter, that moment never arrives completely because uncertainty naturally exists throughout financial journeys. Afterward, consistently thereafter, always. Investing while responsibly managing debt follows identical principles requiring courage and balanced thinking. Afterward, emotionally thereafter, you learn adapting strategically, instead expecting life becoming permanently predictable or financially effortless. Afterward, consistently thereafter, this mindset transforms setbacks from devastating failures into valuable lessons, improving future decisions. Afterward, emotionally thereafter, consistently, someone financially disciplined understands temporary mistakes never define lifelong financial potential. Afterward, fundamentally thereafter, altogether, they focus upon recovery speed, instead obsessing endlessly over unavoidable imperfections. Afterward, strategically thereafter, emotionally speaking, every financially successful individual experienced uncertainty, fear, and frustrating setbacks throughout their journeys. Afterward, repeatedly thereafter, the difference involves persistence, continuing forward despite temporary disappointments or emotional exhaustion. Afterward, consistently thereafter, small disciplined actions repeated consistently eventually create extraordinary transformations impossible imagining initially. Afterward, financially thereafter, a single investment contribution may appear insignificant today, yet powerful decades later. Afterward, dramatically thereafter, consistently. Likewise, every unnecessary high interest payment avoided strengthens future financial flexibility. Afterward, strategically, thereafter, continuously. These seemingly minor decisions quietly shape lifestyles, opportunities, and future emotional security. Afterward, financially, thereafter, altogether. Most people underestimate how dramatically financial stress influences relationships, health, and personal confidence. Afterward, emotionally, thereafter, constant money anxiety quietly drains energy, otherwise supporting ambition, creativity, and meaningful life experiences. Afterward, consistently thereafter, financial freedom, therefore, represents far more than accumulating impressive numbers inside investment accounts. Afterward, emotionally thereafter, it represents choices, flexibility, confidence, and peace unavailable through constant financial desperation. Afterward, fundamentally thereafter, altogether, imagine confidently handling emergencies without panic because preparation replaced financial